good afternoon or good evening, depending on what part of the world you're in. I've still got a bit of a dodgy throat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hopefully get through this presentation that I'm about to do to you, or give to you, I say. I've got my water sitting beside my computer. Now, what I want to talk about is the updates that we're doing and that we're working on right now. And I'm really, really excited about what's happening in the background for you guys at the moment, okay? So we're going to talk about moving, increasing compound, stop loss levels and budgets, okay? So that's what I want to talk to you about. Now, I'm going to do most of the stuff on the board here. If you have any questions about this Hangout, then what you need to do is to put them in capital letters in the chat on the side of your screen there. I think it's on the left side. The right side, as you look at the screen, there's a chat there. If you put it in capitals, you can put your questions in there and I'll try and answer them. But let me just, I'm going to go to the whiteboard and just recap you on stuff that we've been working on and tell you, just to refresh your mind as well, okay? So if I draw a line down here, okay, and I put a budget down the bottom here, okay, that's my budget. Doesn't matter what it is, I'd set my budget there. And then there's a point where I start my bot, okay? And I also put a stop loss. Well, your stop loss is your budget, okay? So that's your stop loss, if you like. But you also have what I call a profit target. And I'm going to put that as a dotted line, okay? So I'm just reminding you here. So what happens is this point here is where the bot starts, okay? This is when you actually click that button to start the bot. Now, you have your stop loss is down here, okay? You have that stop loss that's down here. Now, what happens, as I said before, is that this point here and this point here is what I call the danger zone, okay? So, you know, when the bot starts, it might go up and down like this, prices, okay? And you'll start to either make some profit in here, because this point here is where you started. Obviously above here is the profit, okay, but it's danger profit because it means you could lose it. And then down here is obviously you're starting to lose money, okay? And if you got down to this point here and the bot would stop, because you would have lost, let's just say you set this at $100, you would have lost $100 and the bot would stop it and say, look, I tried trading for you, I can't, okay? So obviously we don't want it to get down to that line, but we can't say it won't get down to that line because in some cases it will. The idea is that you want the bot to get up to this point here, okay? You want it to just pop its head through there. So now you're in, I'm going to call safe profit, okay? You're in safe profit. From this point on, okay, this is where things get exciting. So I want to talk to you about this, not this danger zone, not this area here. I don't want to talk to you about that because that's pretty self-explanatory. I want to talk to you about what I call the safe zone, okay? I want to talk to you about the safe zone. So I'm going to wipe this off the board and we're now going to cover the safe zone because this is where things get interesting and this is what we're working on right now, okay? So with the safe zone, let me just dry this because it'll only smudge. With the safe zone, okay, I'm going to have to keep looking back at my screen because I want to refer to some notes that I've written for you, okay? So now let's just do this graph again, okay? So we're going to put this line here. And at the bottom here, I'm going to put, this was the safe zone, okay? This is the safe zone line, and that's that line that goes there. So now we know everything that happens above this line, we're in profit, okay? And I paused there because I'm dyslexic, and sometimes when you're talking and trying to write at the same time, you can't think of the spelling. I know that's I'm a donkey, but I'm sorry about that. Okay, so we're in the safe zone. So what we do is we're going to give you settings inside the bot, okay? We're going to give you settings inside the bot where you'll actually set a profit target, okay? And that obviously will be that profit target will be this line here, Okay. Now, what happens when you reach to this profit target? Well, there's a couple of things that I want to happen. Okay, and I've been explaining to the programmers what that is. I want to set a compounding mechanism in place. Okay, so let's just say that your profit target, hopefully you can see this, was $100. Okay, well, once the bot gets to there, it's going to now say, well, depending on the percentage, but let's just say that you set it to say, I want to bank, I don't know, we'll say 50%, which is obviously $50. So now you know, once you get to this safe zone, this line here, you're going to walk away with whatever profit you set. And in this case, it's $50. So the bot's not going to lose the whole $100 that it's just made me. It's made me $100 profit. Obviously, I could stop the bot and take away the $100, but I don't want to do that. So I set this this profit target of 100. I've set it to 50%, which means it's going to bank me 50. Okay, so it means it's not going to spend it. It doesn't put it in my bank or do anything with it. It just means it's not going to spend that 50, but it still has another 50 that you can trade with. Okay, so now what the system does, and I'm going to keep these numbers round, but you'll have a setting to do this. Now what the system does is it sets a new profit target, and I'm going to put that through there. You won't see this, but you would have told it, you would have, in the settings, you would have told it what percentages to work with and all that, and it will set a new profit target of 200. Okay, now below this line here, below this line here, when you, depending on what formula you had in place at the time, you would have you know, a different formula, but normally your first bet, the first transaction, the first trade that's done is $1. Okay, so the bot does $1. Depending on the formula, you might have a formula 111. So it'll do $1. If it loses, place another bet of $1. If it loses that, place another bet of $1. If it wins, it'll place another bet of $1. If it wins, it places another bet of $1. So it doesn't matter whether it wins or loses, it will place $1 one bet. That's if you chose the formula 111. Well, you might have chose a formula that was 1, 2, 4, and 8. So what does that mean? It means that the first bet that would get placed would be $1. If that was a lose, if that was a no-go, you know, it didn't win that, the next bet it would place would be $2. If that was a loss, the next bet would be $4. If that was a loss, the next bet would be $8. And if that was a loss, it would drop back to the beginning and place one bet. Okay, but the key point is here is the first bet. Okay, so it doesn't matter the formula, it's always based on the first bet. The first bet that's done, or the first trade that's done. I normally set that to $1. Obviously, you could set it to $5, $10, but whatever formula you choose, we're talking about the first bet that's made. So I'm going to say, look, down here, you know, down below, I set a profit target of 100. I told the bot to do $1 bets, the first bet, and I also set a 50% a stop loss level, okay, 50%. So that means that the bot would do $1. Let's just say it kept winning. Placed $1, it placed $1, it placed $1, it placed $1, and it eventually got to $100, okay, in profit. Now it's going to bank the 50, but the system now is going to say, well, we've got 50 to play with. We're going to set a new profit target. So what we're going to do is we're going to increase the first bet to $2, okay? So let me just share my screen because I want to show you something why this is quite relevant that I'm sharing my screen. So I want to explain to you something. Share the screen. So hopefully you see the screen. And I'm just going over to pocket options. Okay. Now, if you place a bet, okay, as you could see, I placed a bet here. Just placed it randomly. I just wanted to show you. But if I place a bet here of $1, in this case I lost. But if you see down here, if I've changed this to $1, okay, it's telling me here that I would get $1.95 back. So let me just write this on the board somewhere. $1.95. Okay, so that's actually a 95%. 95%. I don't know, what do you want to call it? ROI return on investment, okay? So 95%. So now if I come over to, if I stop sharing this, come back to here, stop sharing this, and I'll come back to the Hangout. So now what you're doing is, you see, that was saying if you place a bet of $1, okay, you place a bet of $1, we're gonna, and that wins, we're gonna give you 95%. So you would get your dollar back plus 95 cents, okay? So you can imagine that if I take the 100, if I take the 100, divide that by 95, that means, let's see, 95, what is it? It's going to be just over 100 bets, isn't it? It's just over 100 bets that it had to do, divided by 95, what is what? It's 105 bets it had to do to get to the 100. When it first started out the gate, it had to do 101 winning bets to get to the 100, what I set my profit target, okay? Now, if a bot achieved, which in this case it did, it achieved 105 winning bets of $1, you know, it doesn't have to, as I say, it could have been not in a row, but it would have to have had 105 winning bets of $1 to get to the 100. Now, if I now set my target for 200 and I've got a 95% return, and I say that I want to do a $2 bet, so $2 times 95%, I'm actually going to make $1.90, not 95 cents. Okay, so now if I take the 200 and I divide that by 1.9, okay, I've still got to do 105 bets to get to the 200. Okay, so what the bot will do is by placing here this $2, even though we've set a profit target of $200, but to actually get to the 100, what it got to earlier, the next 100 milestone in here, it would only have to place 51 bets to get to there. Because if I take 100, divide that by the 1.9, okay, it's actually 52. There you go. It's 52 bets. So it's half the time to get to there, to get to this halfway point. You see, this halfway point. But you see, the thing is, what we're doing is we're introducing an extra tool now that's will start to bank in small places. It will bank along the way because it's in the profit. Even though it's set a profit target of here, this profit target, this second one, works different to this one. Okay, because this one, before it started banking, it had to get to that start line. Okay, to that safe zone. Now we set a new profit target. This profit target is a trigger point for this $2. Okay, so here was a trigger point. Here it said, right, we placed a bet. We're now going to trigger. We're going to set the target for $2 for $200, but we're going to now place $2 bets. But we will bank in small increments. So here, when you get to another, I don't know, $10, $50, whatever it is, it's going to keep banking 50% always, because that's what you set it of what it made. So let's just say that it then got to, you've earned 100, okay, and now it's got to the point where it's earned you 150, okay. So now it says times 50%, which is obviously the $75, is $75. So it would bank $75 here, okay. As soon as it got to the 200, doing 50%, it's going to bank 100. Okay, so now you know it's hit this target here, okay, and it's banked you this 100. So it still has another 100 to play with. So now it sets a new, I don't know, profit target's not the right word because this is different to the first profit target. I'm just trying to, hopefully this is sort of sinking in. But now it sets a new profit target, and this is now 400, okay, double what that was. So now it says, well, we got $100. Remember down here, we started with 100, doing $1. We got to the 100. you know, because we said we were prepared to lose 100, but we didn't lose 100. We actually traded and got to the 100 profit target. We then upped the ante to get to $2 to get us to the 200. And this doubles the things up. It speeds it up. So now you want to go here. So your first bet now is going to be $4. Okay, $4. So that means to get to the next 100, even if it was 100 milestone, if you take 100, divide that by 4, it's now only got to do 25 bets to achieve what it did down here for 105 bets. Okay, so I hope that that's sinking in the power of what this tool is. It's a compounding. I don't know what the correct word it is. You know, I don't know, but I sat and worked this out. This strategy, I run it through on paper, I run it through on a spreadsheet, and I can tell you that it's mind blowing. I want to show you the spreadsheet. Let me just get you the spreadsheet. And by no means, what I'm about to show you, am I saying that our bot is going to achieve this or anybody's going to achieve it. Okay, but what I want to do is I want to show you this and show you that. Let me share my screen, because this is so powerful. There's a lot of programming that goes into this, okay, and the boys are working flat out to get this achieved, okay, but I'm hoping you could see my screen. I'm going to sort of raise in on that a bit, right? Okay, so look, if we're starting here, we're starting with a budget of $50, okay, so initially we will do $1 bets, okay, and then once you get to the milestone, you're going to be doing $2 bets, then you're going to be doing $4 bets. But look what can happen to your goal, your profit. Your profit, you know, you had a profit. I mean, I've set this on a different percentage, but I've saying a profit of getting to 112, then 224, 448, 809, 1,700, 3.5 grand, 7 grand, 14 grand, 28 grand, 57 grand. And I've only gone through 12 targets to get to 60 grand, you know. Now, I don't know how long that those targets could be set for, but, you know, when I trade manually, I set a target of 200, okay? So start with doing $1 bets, $1 bets. So I did start to do this strategy manually to see how it would work. And I was amazed that I could get to 200. And then the next day, I would set my target for double that, would be 400, but I would also be doubling my bet. So if I could achieve it on the first day with $1, get into it, it's obvious I can get to the second day if I'm doing it, and I've done it. I've done it manually, and I wrote down that strategy and worked out, and I had to put it in words for the programmer. And obviously, when I spoke to Danny, I explained my idea, and at first it wasn't quite. The penny wasn't dropping, but then once talking to Danny and we expanded a bit more, light bulbs were going off, okay, to do this bot in this such a way that it gets into this profit zone, okay, gets into this profit zone. So what we're doing now with the bot is we're implementing these tools, because we've got one of them in place already. We've got one of the tools in place. But the two tools have got to work together. They've got to work as a team, okay? So you would set your settings up, and at the moment we switch the bots off because we want to just keep the server free of noise, if you like, while we run and test and build and get this done. And I can tell you that you guys as founders, you're going to have such an amazing tool that's, I mean, I can't guarantee anything. You know, we can't predict the future. We can only live in the now, excuse me. But this tool is pure. Nobody's doing this, okay? Nobody's doing this. So what we're going to be doing as well is we're going to be implementing this tool. And, you know, I'm almost lost for words at the power of this tool, because once we implement this and we give you it as a demo, we're going to let you do it as a demo. You know, as founders, you're here because you know, you just amazing people to start with, you know, but you're here because you see the vision as well. And, you know, we need to have people in so that we can build the robot how we want it to be built. And then we test and we test and we test. And when we go live with this bot, okay, when we go live with this bot, and I can tell you that I want to give you, as soon as I can, live version so that you can do it with real money. But we want to make sure that people don't, you know, lose money. You know, that's what it's about. Obviously, I can't say nobody will lose money. Some people will. That's just how you set your bot up. But we'll give you all the training that you need to set your bots up the best way possible. Okay, and Darren and myself will make videos, excuse me, on how to do that. So, but this tool that we're introducing to the binary options betting bot, we're going to take that same tool and we're going to put it into our other bots that we trade with crypto to crypto, our bots that we trade with crypto, fiat, bots that we trade with gold and crypto, and then of course the forex. Because this tool, whenever you trade, every trader will tell you, you know, that when you're trading, you've always got this stop loss. Okay, now your stop loss, you have to be careful because your stop loss has to be far enough away from your profit target, okay, and your current price. It has to be far enough away here. Okay, any trader will tell you if you set this stop loss too close to here, you'll lose money because you haven't given the asset or whatever it is you're trading on, you haven't given it time to play out it's what you believe is going to happen. Because when you trade, you know, Darren will tell you as well, and if you go on YouTube, there's a ton of videos that tell you about recognizing patterns of charts and all that sort of stuff. But you can only look at the past. You can't look at the future. But what you can do is make a good educated guess of what the future is going to be. And this is what our bot does. It makes a good educated guess of what the future is going to be, what it believes is going to happen in the future. Obviously, it can't be a right 100% of the time because I would be a zillionaire. Basically, what you're doing is when you start to trade, because this is your start point. Okay, it doesn't matter what trading you're doing, whether you're doing binary options, forex, crypto, doesn't matter. Stocks, commodities, shares, doesn't matter what trading you're doing. There's a start point. You have to know when to enter the market. You have to know when to leave the market. Okay, so obviously, what you want to do is you want to buy low, don't you? You want to buy low, and you want to sell high. That's what trading's about. That's where you make your profit. Okay. Now, the problem is with that. Let me show you a little problem. And I have encountered this. I've come in here. I've entered into the market here, which is hopefully a low price. And this is what can happen. Go like that, down here, up, down, drop down here, up, down, up, and boom! I go, oh, I want to sell here. I sell here and I get out. I get out of the market. Okay, I get out of the market. But the thing is, what happens then is it goes down like that, and I say, I got out of the market at the right time. Then bang, goes up like this, and then all this from between here is all lost profit. That's lost profit. It's profit I don't have because I exited the market. So that tool that I just talked to you about will work perfect with every type of trading that we're going to do. Every robot that we do, we will be implementing this in. Because what the robot will do, and I've got it now. I've got it where I've got Bitcoin and Litecoin, and I've got robots running at the moment where they've made a profit, and I've re-entered the market. I've came out of the market, re-entered the market back, say just above that point. Okay, re-entered the market back into here. But there's not been enough of a rise because I've had to pay fees here again, you see. There's not been enough of a rise for me to get, you know, this was not enough of a rise for me to make a further profit, okay? Wasn't enough of a rise for me to make a profit. So then the price went like that. And what do is I start to lose again, okay? So this tool is gonna help to eliminate that, okay? Because you're not going to, you see, because when you sell out, when you sell here, okay, when you sell here and the price keeps going up, you've got to re-enter the market. You've got to re-enter the market. And what you end up doing is you end up picking up fees. You know, you pick up a fee, or you've not re-entered at the right price. You know, you've re-entered up the top here when you should have re-entered down here. The problem is there you've got fees that are in place, and you've got to take those fees into consideration in your profit and losing. So what this tool will do is it won't sell out here. It won't sell out here. Okay. What it'll do is it will sell a percentage, and in this case, I'm saying 50% of my stock, my commodity, okay, my cryptocurrency. So this is not the binary options I'm talking about here. This tool is going to work with our other trading bots, okay, because we will implement it into there once we got it in place in the binary option bot. And this tool will sell out 50%. Then it will go up here. It might sell another 10%. It might sell another 10%. It might sell another 10%. Okay? It might sell another 10%. But as you can see, you know, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 lots of profit that you would have lost out on because you're only selling. So you're only picking up the small fee. And of course, if we set the bot to be a market maker, which means we don't say that we sell instantly, we set a target. We say when it gets to there, sell 10% of that. There's no fee with that. Okay, there's no fee with that. When it gets to there, sell another 10%, no fee. When it gets to there, sell another 10%, no fee. Now, if it starts to get, if it gets to here and it sells again and there's no fee, then it sees the price starting to drop. So what does it do? It sets a target of maybe this middle one here. It says if the price drops to there, goes to this point, sell that last remaining 10%. Okay, so you can see that this tool that we're building now, and I can tell you there's a hell of a lot of programming going into this. I've put it on a whiteboard. It might sound quite simple talk to you, or you might not get your head around it. I don't know, but to actually put that into programming is it's no easy task. I can tell you that. Danny is a pure genius. He runs the programmers. He's a pure genius to put my ideas into programming, and I can tell you that this is worth the wait. This is worth the wait. This tool that we're putting into the binary options is worth the wait. You're going to love it, okay? The idea of this binary options is to do, this is the start point for us because we came into, with Zukul, okay? And I want to just give you this update. And I'm going to get rid of that off the board. And I shall check the Hangout to see if there's any questions in there. Do apologise. Right, so we started out Zukul as a marketing suite, okay? And, you know, the industry's changed. The industry's changed. The way people make money online now today is changing. It's not just MLM. It's not just affiliate programs. It's the thing is, the way you make money now online, it's not about working harder. It's about working smarter. And so Zukul has gone through a revolution, if you like. It's entering a new world, and we're such in an early part of this world because most of the people that I speak to, I go to the local pub, I've got local friends. I've got one friend from my past, Nigel, okay, that's actually, he's a member of Zukul, and he's interested in the trading. He's interested in finding out. He's interested in exploring that. Yeah, he's got his day job, and he's not going to take it. He's not going to spend his life savings or anything like that. He puts a few bucks in or a few pounds in. But it's what the point I'm making. I've got one friend from my past that's interested in what's happening in the future, what's happening now to the world, and the way people are going to use the banking system, I believe, is going to go. The way that the governments print money and just keep printing it and keep printing it, tell us it's inflation, the price of bread goes up because of inflation. It's not. It's because they keep printing more and more money. So there's more and more money. And soon you're going to, it won't be long before you need a wheelbarrow full of money to buy a loaf of bread. The old monetary system's going out. Cryptocurrencies is taking it over. Okay? Cryptocurrencies is taking it over. Zukul is in that field now. We're in that place now. So what is this binary bot? First off, we did the crypto to crypto, the crypto to fiat trading. Then we used we introduced crypto to fiat. Then we introduced crypto to crypto. Then we introduced crypto to gold. Then we introduced semi-automatic trading bots. Then we introduced the binary option bot. Each one of these places, okay, is Frank Kern. I don't know if he invented this, but I saw it from Frank Kern. He said, you have to go through a timeline. And I've seen this before, this timeline, okay? Vic Streishaus has talked about this timeline. He says, you're here, okay? This is you. You want to be over here. Happy face, I don't know what it might be. You might want loads of dollars. You might want to pay for your daughter's wedding. You might want a brand new car. You might want to buy a house. You might want to move to Spain like Mike's doing. But there's an end goal that you need to be in, that you want to get to. And everybody has to go through this timeline. It doesn't matter whether you're, an online marketer. You've got to take your clients through a timeline so that you achieve your timeline. You know, we say in the online marketing world, we say, you need a landing page. Once you've got a landing page, you need an autoresponder. Once you've got autoresponder, you need the emails to go in there. Okay? Once you've got all these things in place, you need the traffic. Okay? You need the traffic to send traffic to your landing page, to push your people through this, and obviously you get the sale at the end. That's what if you're an internet marketer, that's where you want to be. That's how you take your client. But if you're a trader, okay, if you're a trader like we've been doing, we've now taken our business and got it into the trading market, okay? And we're learning as we go along. In trading, there's no rocket science to trading. There's no secret formula to trading. Trading is simple. Buy low, sell high. Buy low, sell high. Most people trade every day of their lives, you know. They trade, they go and buy a loaf of bread or a pint of beer, or they buy some food for dinner tonight. They hand over some cash and they give them back a product. That's trading. You're trading, okay? If you've got a little corner shop and you're selling Coca-Cola, okay? You're selling your Coca-Cola to people that walk in your shop, but basically you bought that Coca-Cola at a lower price from the wholesaler. You bought it from the wholesaler. You sold it to your customers that walk into your shop. So you bought low, you sold high. That's all you're doing. Now, what Zukul did is we built our first bot, which was fiat to crypto. Fiat to crypto, okay? Now, we then built our second bot. So we learned a massive amount of stuff from the point before we built this bot. There was a big learning curve that I had to go over because I had to learn trading. And I got talking with Darren, and Darren had done a bit of trading, and we started exchanging ideas and things. And I built I designed this first bot. I designed the second bot, which was the crypto to crypto, okay? Which was the crypto, crypto to crypto, okay? Then we done the gold one. And all of the time, you're going through this learning path. It's like a trading chart. You constantly, the more information you're getting, the more pennies are dropping with you. And I can tell you what's going to happen is this timeline that we're going through right now is going to do one thing and one thing only. It's going to bring a lot of people into Zukul. A hell of a lot of people are going to start joining Zukul, because once we come through once we get through this timeline, you know, I'd say we're somewhere here. We're not at the goal yet. We've not reached the goal. Okay, we're not at the goal, but we're building these bots. We're heading in the right direction. And as we get more and more successful, as we get more and more strategies in place, as we learn more, and as the people that start to use these bots, the founders are going to get access to all the stuff that we're doing. The founders and the leaders. Once we get this stuff to you in your hands, where you can trade live with real money, and you start to put your screenshots on social media, okay, of your profit, because that's what it's all about, profit. Because, you know, I don't know about you, you can own gold, you can own diamonds, you can own shares in Apple, but I can't go down to the local store and say, can I have a loaf of bread, please? And here's a bit of I've got my Apple shares here. Let me, or I can't. Do you want a bit of my Apple shares? No, you've got to sell your Apple shares, liquidate it, use the fiat currency. You can't take a piece of gold and say, "Can I have a loaf of bread? Let me." Have you got a saw there behind the counter, and I'll cut you off a bit of gold? No, you can't. You got to liquidate it. You've got to trade it back into a fiat currency. Okay. So we're building you the tools to not only build up a portfolio of cryptocurrencies. You could get shares. You could do forex. You can have gold. We're building you so that you can have this wealth behind you that you can liquidate through a trading system that gives you the maximum profit. And when we start to, we've already started, but as we start to release this to the founders, okay, this binary bot, the proof that you're going to put out on social media, I can tell you, we had 47,000 people in this business in literally 18 months ago. 47,000 is just a pea in the ocean. It really is. Excuse my French. This is going to bring in a ton of people. It's going to, this business is going to explode. If you're in a founder position, you're in a brilliant position. If you're somebody that joins and it's not a founder position, you're in a brilliant position because you can have access to such an amazing trading bots that trade from cryptocurrencies to precious metal to forex to shares to binary options. The list is endless. Stay tuned because soon we're going to be releasing this bot. I'm going to keep you up to date, and I made this video really for the founders to let them know where we are. But we're working frantically in the background because I believe this extra tool should be in place before we release it, because I believe this is the icing on the cake, this tool that I talked about earlier, where it's going to lock in your profit and increase your bets for you on the fly so that it gets to the next milestone that much quicker. Because it's obvious, if you're trading with $1, it takes you a longer to get to, if you were winning all the time, you've got to do 105 bets to get to 200. Where imagine if you were trading with $100, you need one bet and you're there. That's the thing, or two bets and you're there. That's the difference with having a compounding tool. So I believe that I said to the programmers, because the programmers said, should we release the first part that we've done? I said, no, let's get it all in place. Let's have it all working. Let's do it so that it works the way I want it to work, so that it's going to give people the maximum power of profit. And then also what we're going to be doing is we're going to be adding, we've identified another binary option site that we're going to work with. I'm not going to tell you what that is at the moment, but you will need to join through the company link again. But we will then add another binary option site. And the reason we're doing that is so that we can open it up for more people. And, if you come across a binary option site, somebody sent me one the other day, but it doesn't have an API key. Must have API key. So if you come across a binary option site that's got API keys, I think we found most of them, but, please do your own research and let us know, okay? Let us know, and we will, I shall investigate that to see if we can work with that site. Now, if you're not a founder, you're crazy. You really are crazy. You're going to miss out so much. Darren's doing a hangout later today. Make sure you're on that hangout and watch what Darren's got to tell you. My name's Jeremy Rush, and I want to thank you very much for joining me. Doesn't look like there's any questions, I know there's only 23 people watching because of a weird time of day, people are at work and that sort of stuff, okay? But I'm sure if you've got a question and you're watching the replay, then put it in the comments. And of course, if you are in this business and you wanna put your give a testimonial in the comments and put your link in there, then if you are looking to join this business, I would join somebody that's left a comment here, people that know about this business, okay? So have a fantastic day, and I'll let you know on the next update. I shall be updating you as soon as possible, once I've got some more exciting news for you. Have a fantastic day, and I'll speak to you soon. I do apologise about my throat, okay? But I've got a bit of a cold. Okay, have a fantastic day, and I'll speak to you soon. Tutty, bye.